Mark had lived in Maplewood for years, a quiet man who minded his own business. But recently, his mornings had turned into a nightmare. Every day, as he stepped outside for work, his trash can was tipped over, garbage spilling across the driveway. At first, he thought it was raccoons, or maybe careless delivery drivers. But when it happened night after night, Mark knew it wasn't an accident. Neighbors whispered that they had seen Karen, the self-appointed queen of the HOA, lingering around his property late at night. Karen was notorious for nitpicking every resident. Lawns too long, cars parked an inch too far, holiday decorations left up a day too late. But this was personal. Mark clenched his jaw as he picked up the mess again. If Karen wanted a battle, she had chosen the wrong man. Mark decided not to confront Karen right away. He knew her type, loud, dramatic, and always ready to twist the story in her favor. Instead, he started documenting everything. Each morning, he snapped photos of the overturned trash can, the scattered garbage, and even the fresh shoe prints he noticed nearby. He saved every picture in a hidden folder on his phone. But Karen wasn't subtle. The more Mark ignored her, the bolder she became. One morning, he caught the faint sound of laughter drifting through the hedges. And there she was, Karen, standing on her porch with a smug grin, sipping coffee as he bent down to clean up the mess she had likely caused. Mark didn't give her the satisfaction of reacting. He forced a polite smile, waved, and went back inside. But deep down, he was planning something Karen would never see coming. Mark knew he couldn't rely on the HOA board. Karen practically controlled it. Complaining would only make things worse, so he decided to take matters into his own hands. He ordered a brand new trash can, one that looked ordinary on the outside, but had a secret. This wasn't just a trash can, it was reinforced with a hidden mechanism, a motion-triggered alarm and a camera cleverly tucked inside the lid. For days, Mark waited. He placed the new trash can exactly where the old one had been and pretended like nothing had changed. Karen, confident in her little game, didn't suspect a thing. She thought she was untouchable. But Mark was patient, and patience was about to pay off. It was just past midnight when the motion alarm pinged on Mark's phone. His heart raced as he quietly opened the live feed. There she was, Karen dressed in her robe, tiptoeing across the lawn like a thief in the night. With a quick glance around, she reached for the trash can. The moment she pushed it, a loud alarm shrieked through the silence. Karen jumped back, her coffee mug slipping from her hand and shattering on the driveway. But the best part? The hidden camera captured every second in crystal-clear detail. Her face, her smirk, her shock when the alarm blared. Mark sat in his living room, watching the footage, a satisfied grin spreading across his face. The evidence was undeniable. Karen had finally exposed herself. The next morning, Karen stormed across the street, red-faced and furious. "You think you're clever, Mark?" she snapped, jabbing a finger toward his driveway. "That alarm nearly gave me a heart attack." Mark stayed calm. He opened his phone and, without a word, played the footage. Karen's face drained of color as she watched herself on screen, caught in the act with no way to deny it. "You've been knocking over my trash can for weeks," Mark said evenly. "And now, I have proof." For once, Karen was speechless. She stammered, her usual confidence crumbling. That's not what it looks like." But it was, and she knew it. Mark didn't raise his voice. He didn't threaten. He simply smiled and said, "Don't worry, Karen, I'll let the HOA decide what it looks like." At the next HOA meeting, Mark arrived early. He sat quietly while neighbors chatted, unaware of the storm about to hit. Karen strutted in, as usual, trying to command the room. But when the agenda opened for neighborhood concerns, Mark stood. "I'd like to share something with the board," he said, plugging his phone into the projector. The room fell silent as the video played. Gasps rippled through the crowd. There was Karen, sneaking across the street in the middle of the night, tipping the trash can and then panicking as the alarm blared. Karen's jaw tightened. She tried to laugh it off, saying, "This is ridiculous, he's framing me." But the evidence was clear. The board members exchanged looks, their patience with Karen clearly worn thin. For the first time, Karen didn't have control. She was cornered. The HOA president cleared his throat. "Karen, this behavior is unacceptable. You've disrupted the peace of this neighborhood for long enough." The board voted quickly. Karen was fined for harassment, ordered to replace the damaged trash. And warned that any further misconduct would lead to harsher consequences. The neighbors, who had once quietly tolerated Karen's antics, began to whisper and even chuckle. For the first time, the spotlight wasn't on Karen's drama. It was on her downfall. Mark didn't gloat. He simply nodded, collected his phone, and returned to his seat. Justice had been served. That night, as he wheeled his trash can to the curb, he noticed something unusual. It was still standing the next morning. Karen never touched it again. And for Mark, the sweetest victory wasn't the alarm or even the HOA's decision. It was the silence, peace at last.